So Dr. Liz, there's plenty of ways to make a baby. Can you tell me the top 3?
There's the good old-fashioned
Because obviously,
way.
yeah, there's a good old-fashioned way, and there's like 100 ways in that one just there.
I don't think this blog has.
We can't go into all of those, okay? So go get some books on that one. But obviously the natural way.
Yep. And then
otherwise, watch video 3, basically the video before this one.
That's true. And then there's a couple of other ways. There's in utero insemination, and there's IVF or ICSI.
Okay, so tell me about the insemination way.
So in utero insemination is where the woman has a small catheter placed into the cervix, and there's sperm provided by either the partner or a donor, and that sperm has been washed and spun down to a concentrated form, and then it's injected in this very fine tube that's been placed. It's injected into the uterus.
Wow.
And then using the woman's ovulation, which either may have just been a spontaneous ovulation event that's been tracked by the gynecologist, or it's a ovulation induction cycle where the woman's been given extra medications to produce 1 or 2 follicles that have the eggs in it. The sperm moves from the uterus and then out into the tubes. So actually conception occurs most of the time in the tubes.
Wow.
And it's all timed in terms of the woman's hormonal cycle, as well as correlating that with the development of the follicles on the ovary, which releases the egg.
That's incredible. Science is amazing, isn't it? So that's the second stage often, and then the third stage is, the third option is IVF.
Yeah, so IVF's a combination of medications that you're given, and what happens is basically the cycle is taken over. So normally when you have a period and a cycle, you produce 1 egg. Sometimes you produce 2, that's where twins come from a lot of the time, not all the time, but sometimes it's the embryo splitting and there's only the 1 egg.
Yep.
Anyway, so with the IVF, what happens is instead of producing 1, you receive some medications, injections that give you lots of little follicles on the ovary. So instead of just 1 egg, we aim for what's called a controlled ovarian hyperstimulation. And ovarian hyperstimulation, there may be 6 or a dozen follicles. Sometimes there can be more. Occasionally we're not as successful and there's less. And those follicles are all tracked until they're a particular size, and you get given medications then, unfortunately again another injection, which ripen the egg, so to speak, and then finally you get given an injection that does the final stage ripening, and just before your body would release the egg, perfectly timed, you have a surgical procedure. It's a minor surgical procedure, and under ultrasound scan guidance, the gynecologist sucks the little fluid out of each of the follicles with an embryologist, who's a special type of a scientist that looks at the follicular fluid for a little egg. So on the same day that the egg is collected, the partner produces a sample, or alternatively donor sperm is used, and they're placed in a dish with 1 egg per dish, and then the sperm naturally fertilizes the egg. Alternatively, there's something called ICSI, which is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and that's where the sperm is directly injected into the egg, and that's used in situations where there might be significant male factor infertility or reduced fertility. And the following day, either ICSI or with IVF, the following day the embryologist performs a fertilization check, and it's then confirmed how many embryos have fertilized, and then depending on a variety of factors, the embryo is transferred at different days. And then there's the anxious 2-week wait for the pregnancy test 2 weeks later.
It's pretty exciting, isn't it? Yeah. Science is amazing.
Yeah, and it's exceptional technology at the level of the IVF lab. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
That's incredible. Just to think that, science has progressed that far that we can do this and help families that that have these fertility issues.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of IVF pregnancies in the world, and even IVF babies are having babies now. It's from like the 1980s.
That's so amazing. Oh, it's just heartwarming, really, isn't it?
Yes.
So thank you so much, Dr. Liz. So make sure you check out Dr. Liz's other videos in the series. Or head to her website. She's a wealth of information on women's health. But thank you, Dr. Liz.
Yeah, thank you.